What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer giving you guys another Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay commentary. Today we're going to talk about the state of Black Ops 1 in the year 2021. We're going to talk about the overall state of the game, including how many players are still online. We're going to talk about whether or not there are hackers in the game, and just how the overall gameplay holds up after all these years, especially in comparison to newer entries in the COD series, namely Black Ops Cold War. So yeah, Black Ops 1, it's the game that started it all in the Black Ops series. And in my opinion, it's still the greatest Call of Duty game ever made. And if you haven't played it before, if you never got to experience the greatness of Black Ops 1, it's not too late. You can still have a really good time in 2021. It sounds crazy to say that because it's like 11 years old, and to think that a really old game can still be a lot of fun. Trust me when I say that it's still a solid experience in the year 2021. First of all, the player count, that's the big thing when we're talking about old multiplayer games. Are there even still people playing? Because if you don't have a player base, everything else can be good, but if no one's online, it's not even worth it. So in this particular gameplay, you'll notice that at first, it's not a full lobby at all. It's like 4v4, I think. But actually, you'll see towards the second half of the gameplay, people start filling up. And although this gameplay ends on a timer, it actually does become a full lobby, like, right at the end. So, generally speaking, when I try to find a game in Black Ops 1, I get a match instantly. Unlike Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, I do not have to wait, like, 10 minutes to find one game of TDM. It's actually really fast finding a game of Black Ops 1 compared to the other old Call of Duty games. So that's really good. So, yeah, the player base is still very much alive in 2021. So you don't have to worry about the actual player base and finding a multiplayer match, because it's actually really easy considering how old it actually is. So that's a good thing. Now, the other thing, we got to talk about hackers, because that's a huge problem in Black Ops 2 right now, and I'll talk about that in a couple days when I make my Black Ops 2 video. But Black Ops 2, trying to find a game in Black Ops 2 in 2021 is not a fun experience because of how many hackers you have in the game that just ruin the overall experience. That you can't really have fun. You really can't. It's a really hard thing to actually find a lobby without hackers that ruin the game. When in Black Ops 1, I do run into hackers here and there, but it's not a widespread issue like Black Ops 2. Which is weird, because you would think that, oh, if everyone's hacking Black Ops 2, you'd think it would have the same problem with BO1. But for some reason, Black Ops 1 does not have that much of a hacker problem. I'm not exactly sure why, but yeah, I don't really have much experience with hackers. Maybe they'll pop in here and there. Like, every now and then there'll be a hacker that has, like, invincibility and invisibility and all that bullshit. But I would say 95% of the games I play are hacker-free, which is pretty good. So what I'm trying to say is you do not really have to worry that much about hackers ruining the game if you want to get into Black Ops 1 in 2021. Whether you're a new player or if you're trying to get back into it, it's still overall, everything is still very much alive, and the gameplay experience is not broken like a lot of other online multiplayer games are, especially Black Ops 2. So, yeah, that's a good thing about Black Ops 1. Now, as far as the actual gameplay, the gunplay, the map design, everything, I think everything is still great after all these years. It's been over a decade since this game came out, but it really doesn't feel like that. I feel like this game aged very, very well compared to most other FPS games from 2010. I mean, when I play this game, I don't even think that, oh my god, this is an old game, it's a 360 game. Like, okay, the graphics, I guess you could say, are a little bit outdated, but I don't really care about that. So, like, when everyone's saying, oh, we need a Black Ops 1 remaster, do you guys not realize what they're going to do if they remaster Black Ops 1? They're just going to give you Black Ops 1 remastered with skill-based matchmaking, with a lot of the shitty changes they made in the newer Call of Duty games. They're going to put that shit in the remaster, and you guys aren't going to like it. So when everyone says, oh, I want Black Ops 1 remastered, you guys do not know what you're asking for, because it's going to be a disaster if they actually do it. Now, would I love it if they did remaster the game and gave it, better graphics and just left everything else the same? I would, but you know they're going to do microtransactions, you know they're going to do skill-based matchmaking, so what's the fucking point? You might as well just play the original and not. I don't even want a remaster because the game is fine the way it is. Like, I think I want a Black Ops 2 remaster a lot more than a Black Ops 1 remaster because BO2 is just fucking broken. But this game is still a really solid experience after all these years. And you guys will see, if you guys actually are longtime viewers of this channel, or if you're new, and if you actually look back at my videos that I've made, you guys will see that I don't just play Black Ops 1 for one video saying, oh, how's the game like in 2021? Oh, it's good. And then I go back to Cold War. No, I fucking hate Cold War. I do not want to go back to that game ever because it's just a pile of fucking dog shit. So no, I actually play Black Ops 1 regularly on this channel. So that just shows how great this game still is and how well it holds up in 2021. I mean, the fucking kill streaks, they're so satisfying when you get them. And you can see I put in fucking work with a chopper gunner. But the thing is, I actually earned the chopper gunner in this game. While in Black Ops Cold War, the streaks mean fucking nothing because they're all participation trophies for bad players. You don't have to go on a streak to get a streak? What? Can someone explain that to me? Again, it's for noobs, it's for people who can't go on a long streak to make everyone feel like that they can actually do something in that game. It's fucking garbage. Black Ops Cold War is a terrible game. The maps are terrible also. And the maps in Black Ops 1 are all fantastic. Or at least there's not really any bad maps. You know, people talk about Cracked being a bad map or Crisis being a bad one. But I guess in 2010 standards, those would be bad maps. But in comparison to the shit we got now in Cold War, and especially Modern Warfare 2019, you can't even compare it. You cannot even compare. The maps in Black Ops 1 are amazing. Most of them are classic. Even Havana is a really good map. And you guys might recognize it because they remastered it into Black Ops 4. Yeah, it's a really good map, and most of the maps in this game you really can't complain about. And the gunplay, I like the weapon variety in this game too. The only thing is that the AK-47 and the Commando are literally the same fucking gun. But other than that, I mean, you got some good weapon variety between the AK, FAMAS, Galil. You have a lot of really good weapons that feel very satisfying. Even after 10 plus years of this game being out, it still feels good using these guns. They don't feel clunky. They don't feel really old. It still feels really smooth, even after all these years. So I just love the weapon variety in this game. I love everything about this game. Between the streaks, the maps, everything, it still holds up amazing in 2021. I just love this game so much. And of course, there's bullshit like Second Chance. You've seen it in this gameplay. And I made a commentary a couple weeks ago where I get fucking a chopper gunner even though I died like 5 times with Second Chance, but I kept getting revived. So yeah, there's some bullshit in this game. I'm not going to pretend that it's all perfect, but compared to every other game that we ever seen in Call of Duty, I think, in my humble opinion, it's the greatest COD ever made. And zombies, that's another thing. It's also really amazing. Probably the best zombies in Call of Duty history, although Black Ops 3 actually has some really good zombies. And of course, the single-player campaign, we don't even need to talk about it. It's legendary. Everyone knows how amazing Black Ops 1's single-player is. That if you haven't played before, you really should check it out. Just for the single-player alone, Black Ops 1 is worth it. And I'm sure you can find the game really cheap. I would say, you know, don't spend more than $20. I would say $20 is a good price for everything. If you want to play the single-player, the multiplayer, and the zombies, it's all still there for you. I mean, Kino der Toten is an amazing map, so you will have a lot of fun. I'm not a big fan of 5, but Kino der Toten is one of the greatest zombies maps in COD history. Multiplayer is still amazing. The single player is probably the best single player campaign in COD history. I think that's a safe thing to say also. So yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong picking up this game for the first time in 2021. And if you played the game before, if you still have it, great. It's definitely easily worth a reinstall. The multiplayer is still very much alive. There are no hackers. There's really nothing to complain about the experience of Black Ops 1 in 2021, except for maybe the connections. You know, the connection in this game is a little spotty, but that's always been the case ever since 2010, so, you know, that's a thing. I mean, the netcode is not great, the hit detection can be a little wanky, but overall, I think it's still a really solid experience after all these years. About the DLC, I'll talk about that real quick. I do have the DLC installed, and even with the DLC, I have no problem finding a game, so if you do want to reinstall the game, I think you should definitely reinstall the DLC, because that's a thing people talk about, like Modern Warfare 2, for example. It's a lot harder to find a match with the DLC so people tend to not install the DLC, but they'll install the rest of the game. You can install the DLC if you have it already. Now, if you haven't bought it before, as much as I love the DLC in this game, I actually think Black Ops 1 has the greatest DLC in all of COD history. It's a really steep asking price because they never cut the price of the map packs. It's $15 each for the 4 map packs, plus the Resurrection DLC if you want the Zombies maps remastered. It's a lot of money. You're talking about at least $60 if you want all the multiplayer maps, which is a lot. Even though they're great maps, if you haven't bought it before, it's a lot of money to ask for a fucking 11-year-old game. It's just not worth it. So you don't have to get the DLC. You can still find a match, no problem, with or without it. It's just a nice extra thing to have if you have it. So yes, Black Ops 1 is still an amazing experience in 2021. It's worth picking up for the first time if you haven't played it before, or reinstalling it if you do have it. It's just great. It's a lot better than Black Ops Cold War, because that game is fucking garbage. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.